Hey folks, it's Jared at Nintendo World Report with a preview of Shenmue 3. At E3 2019, I spent 15 minutes in the world of Shenmue 3. It was just a brief glimpse at the game, but it was enough time to alleviate many of my worries about the upcoming title. Why have my fears evaporated, you ask? Because the game felt like Shenmue. It was like seeing an old friend again after many years and feeling like no time had passed. This November, we're going to be able to jump back into the world of Shenmue, and I couldn't be more excited. Two quick notes. First, there are zero plans for Shenmue 3 to come to the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo World Report will continue to mostly cover video games coming to Nintendo systems. But this Shenmue 3 preview will be a rare exception. Worth pointing out that there's a older Yu Suzuki directed title that recently released on Nintendo Switch. That game is called Virtua Racing. The arcade version of that title may have released over 25 years ago, but it's still a wonderful racing title and one that I strongly recommend. My second note, I did participate in the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter campaign. However, the following preview is my honest opinion, and I promise I wasn't wearing rose-tinted glasses. I promise, no rose-tinted glasses. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to walk you through the entire 15-minute demo. Be warned, I'm also going to reenact some of the game's voice acting, and I am no Corey Marshall. It's worth noting that Shenmue creator Yu Suzuki was in the room with me, guiding my demo. Before playing, Suzuki-san quickly walked me through the game's controls. If you've played Shenmue 1 or 2, you'll find the 4 face buttons serve the same function they did back on Dreamcast and the original Xbox. There's a button for conversation, one to initiate events like minigames, as well as a cancel button. I asked Yu Suzuki about how Shenmue 3 starts. Were there any events that transpired after Shenmue 2, but before Shenmue 3 begins? Yu Suzuki told me the beginning of Shenmue 3 is the very next day after Shenmue 2. It's been 18 years in real life, but in the game, it's the very next day. The demo I played, however, picked up with Ryo's new adventure already in progress. In recent trailers for the game, we've seen that there's a thug problem in town. Check out this segment from the trailers.
What did you say to me?
Stop it. They threaten and extort money from shop owners, get drunk by noon, and cause trouble. Everyone in town is afraid of them.
They are heartless.
The demo appears to start a short time after Ryo has had some sort of confrontation with one or multiple thugs. Ryo wishes to find them again, and his one lead is a Bookie with a scar on his face. The E3 demo opened with this conversation between Shenmue and Ryo. Hey, Shenmue. Yeah? I think we should split up and look for the Bookie. I'll search from here to the village square. You go from the village square to the next Senwat. Got it. I'll see you later. Yeah. You might be asking, what the hell is the next Senwat? I just said that because I couldn't understand what they were saying there, so it's not the next Senwat, it's some location name. We'll learn about it later when the game comes out, okay? Thanks. After that brief cutscene, I finally had control of Ryo. He was standing in front of a small footbridge with a dirt path in front of him. The first thing I tried was the new camera controls, which use the right analog stick. I spun the camera 360 degrees around Ryo and took in the immediate scenery and studied Ryo's new character model. I don't care what anyone says. I think the new game looks beautiful. In a perfect world, the level of detail would be something akin to the brilliant work the folks at Quantic Dream displayed in Detroit Become Human, but that would be impossible at Shenmue 3's budget. I began walking forward and quickly came upon a small store that housed 2 toy capsule machines out front. A few days after playing Shenmue 3, I booted up the original Shenmue, and I must say that the walking and running controls have been vastly improved. Ryo's movement could feel very restrictive and stiff in the original 2 games, but in Shenmue 3, it feels like you have greater control of Ryo's movement. With the capsule machines in front of me, there's no way I could pass up the opportunity to get one. I'll give it a try.
This is cool.
Once I finished with the capsule machine, I walked into the store. The music inside sounded extremely familiar. I've tried to determine if it's a returning song, but after listening to multiple tracks from the first 2 games, I believe it's new. This is a great time to say that the music perfectly evokes the Shenmue feel. I asked Yu Suzuki about the balance of new and old songs in Shenmue 3. He explained there are a large number of songs in the game and that he couldn't give an exact ratio of new to old yet because he hasn't counted all of them. He did note that there are over 100 songs easily and reiterated that the soundtrack will have a mix of new and old. I walked over to one of the store shelves and began picking up random objects. The interaction system is very close to how it worked in earlier games, with some small refinements. For instance, a small target now appears over the object Ryo is currently looking at. While my memory might be faulty, I believe one of the objects Ryo picked up was a snake in a bottle. This can't be the real thing. Can it? That's a lot of spice. Once I was done perusing the shelves, I met the store owner. Hi there. I've heard about you. You're Shenmue's friend, aren't you? The name's Hazuki. Ho ho! You look strong. Young man like you needs a snake tonic. Did you say snake tonic? Deadly snake venom mixed with strong booze and left to sit for 3 months. It's just one of the medicines that will help you in battle. It'll fix you up good. I see, I think. I only sell it here in my shop, in case you forget.
Excuse me.
What is it?
I'm here to shop. What do you need? The gameplay video you're seeing right now is from IGN Japan, but when I was in the store, I bought a whole bunch of bananas, because who doesn't love bananas?
I'll be here.
Thanks.
I exited the shop and headed to a busier part of town. A martial artist was leading a group of children in practice. It was time to start asking questions and find the bookie. I first asked the martial artist leading the practice. In this video, I'm going to be calling this martial artist teaching the kids Dushan. I'm pretty sure that's incorrect, but that's what I heard, so we're going to go with that for now. Dushan. What is it, Ryo? Do you know a bookie with a scar on his face? Ah, right. The pale toss guy. I'd never forget that mug of his. Thanks. I get the feeling I should have talked to Dushan again. It seems like he had more info, but instead, I talked to one of the children he was training. I need help with something. Yeah? I'm looking for a man with a big scar on his face. I'm just a kid, mister. How should I know? I see. It was at this point I decided to check Ryo's notebook. Maybe there will be a clue there. I opened the notebook, the classic Shenmue music started playing, and I think this is the moment I finally realized, wow, I am playing Shenmue 3. This is awesome. Anyway, My short look at the notebook didn't provide any additional location info for the Bookie. I walked around that area of the village a little more, and guess what? I lucked out and quickly found the Bookie. Excuse me. Hey there, lad. How about a game? A scarred face. This must be the guy. Huh? You say something? There's something I want to ask. So what? You're not here to play? I'm looking for someone who has seen those thugs. Oh yeah, that guy. Where can I find him? I'll tell ya after we play. Okay. Lately, I'm not as good as I used to be. Why don't we let our throws do the talking? A challenge, huh? Yeah. Beat me and I'll tell ya. How about it? Let's do this. I don't have gameplay footage of this battle, so I'll talk about the combat over some of IGN's gameplay video. The basics of moving about and punching and kicking actually felt a lot more like Shenmue 1 and 2 than I was expecting. Using the analog stick to move Ryo around your opponent feels a little bit smoother than the older titles. It seems that the same sort of refinement that was made to the walking and running controls during normal exploration have also been applied to fighting. You are shown the button inputs for the different combos on the bottom left corner of the screen. I tried repeatedly to pull off the combo on display and was not having a lot of luck. The one battle I fought was over in less than 90 seconds, which simply wasn't enough time to figure out the proper timing. Leveling up your different moves/skills should make it a lot easier to pull off difficult combos. My understanding is that when you are low level, you must pull off a button combination almost perfectly to properly execute it. Repeated use of a certain move will let you level it up, and over time, the game will be more lenient in accepting not perfectly timed button inputs. Yu Suzuki told me at the battle's conclusion that the Bookie was a very strong opponent and that nobody had won against him. It's worth noting that Shenmue 3, in addition to the more traditional manual combat mode, also has a automatic one, which allows you to pull off complex fighting moves with a single button press. I must admit that I was amused that the automatic and manual modes are represented on screen by the letters AT and MT, which is the nomenclature you would find in a racing game.
Please choose manual or automatic transmission.
During our interview session, I asked Yu Suzuki to talk a little bit about the battle system. He emphasized that the combat engine, which was created from scratch, is very much associated with the new Skillbook system. In fact, the Skillbook system basically encompasses all aspects of the game, including the main story, collecting capsule toys, minigames, and a lot more. Yu Suzuki believes the new system will ultimately be more fun for the player because of the way the battle system and skills connect to many other elements of the game. Too bad, kiddo. Your kung fu's a little lacking. Go train at Marshall Hall, and we'll start over. Ha ha ha. Right, Marshall Hall. Instead of heading to Marshall Hall, I noticed there was a Lucky Hit stand nearby. Excuse me. Oh, hello. How about a game of Lucky Hit? Come on. Try it. Not right now. Oh, so you don't like Lucky Hit? I was hitting the wrong button to start the minigame. Pick a platform. Yu Suzuki told me to choose the middle platform. You'll keep going, won't you? Maybe some other time. I hope to see you again soon. It's worth noting that the Lucky Hit music I heard was not the same Lucky Hit music that was in Shenmue 2. I loved that music, but the new music seems pretty good. Shortly after the Lucky Hit game ended, Ryo exclaimed, "I won't be worth anything if I don't eat." I fed Ryo multiple bananas to restore his strength. After snack time was done, Yu Suzuki suggested I do either wood shopping or gambling. I went with wood shopping.
Excuse me.
What is it?
I'd like to help you split some wood.
Now we're talking.
In my play session, the store owner said, "If you're chopping, I'm paying."
Hey, yeah. Yes. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's it. Good. That's it. Oh. Perfect. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yes. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yes. That's it. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Good. That's it. Mm-hmm. Good. That's it. Yes. Mm-hmm. So close. This is good work.
No, I'm good.
Well, I ain't forcing you to do anything. The job will be waiting for you.
Now, if you watch my previous Shenmue 3 video, you know already that sadly there won't be classic arcade games like Outrun and Space Harrier. However, we've now seen multiple references to some of the Sega arcade games that Yu Suzuki created. So far, we've heard the music from Afterburner that plays when doing well in the log cutting mode. There's also posters in some of the arcades. When asking Yu Suzuki specifically about the Afterburner music, he told me that, of course, we got the proper licensing from Sega for that stuff. It will be fun to see what other Sega references make it into the game. Alright, so after the log cutting, my demo was basically done. Probably only had about a minute left in the demo, so Yu Suzuki suggested I browse some items on another one of the shelves. This store had a lot of shelves, by the way. So I walked over to this new shelf I hadn't looked at prior. I found like a scroll. Rio, of course, is like, "What is this scroll?" And I'm just browsing the items, and then Yu Suzuki is like, "It's Shenmue," and then I responded back, "It is Shenmue." The game is, it feels like Shenmue. Shenmue is back. Okay, here are some of the interview questions I had for Yu Suzuki that I haven't already discussed in the video. How has it been showing Shenmue 3 to people at E3? Yu Suzuki responded by saying, "I'm so happy to see people who know about Shenmue saying, 'This is Shenmue.' I'm very happy to see those reactions. The next expectation is to see how people who have not played Shenmue before react. I'm looking forward to see those reactions." I also asked, will we be seeing some returning characters from past games? He said, "Yes, in some kind of form. I can't explain further, but in some kind of form or style, occasionally you will see some characters. I heard that a lot of fans really like to see older characters, so I tried to respond to those requests." This was my next question. Shenmue 1 and 2 both had a Tomato Mart. Might we see the Tomato Mart in Shenmue 3? You will see it in the next stage. The name has changed. It's not the Tomato Mart, it's the Tomato Convenience Store. Almost the same. The logo is very similar. And then I followed up, and possibly the classic music associated with it? Yep. So that's great news. Tomato Convenience Store is back. We're gonna have that great music, so that's really cool. my last thing was, any last comment for Shenmue fans? Yu Suzuki said, first thing I want to say is thank you very much for supporting me. At E3, we announced that the release schedule had changed, but even after that, the fans are really supporting my actions, so I appreciate your support. So that's pretty much the end of the video. I hope you liked it. If you have any Shenmue 3 questions, please ask them in the comments below or in the comments section. And also please like the video, and yeah, thanks. And I'm actually gonna have a review of Virtual Racing for Nintendo Switch very soon, so stay tuned for that. I love the game. You should buy it if you haven't bought it already. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.